300 people watching. If you're on X, come on over to youtube.com/@ProWrestleClips. So do you guys feel that Kacy Catanzaro should have gotten more opportunities in WWE? Because Katana Chance or Kacy Catanzaro says WWE never let her fully find herself as a character. I fully disagree with that. I just think they don't value women's tag team wrestling. In fact, we know they don't. Shawn Michaels pretty much said as much, that they don't value tag team wrestling really like they used to at all. I don't know. I'm a big fan. I was actually a fan. You know what's crazy is that Kacy Catanzaro from American Ninja Warrior, like when she won that, it went super viral. And she was amazing. That was like my hero when that happened, because I used to watch that show religiously back then when they'd happen, even the like Asian ones. And yeah, I just remember she like broke the internet with her performance, like before that was really a thing. And yeah, I've been a fan of her. I didn't think like, oh, she's in WWE, she's going to kill it. Like it took years for her to really click. But I just think the worst thing Kaden Carter and Katana Chance can do is break up. They should stick together, hit the indies, go to TNA, win those knockout titles, all that sort of Spitfire, I think, is broken up too in TNA. Bring in Kacy too and just have them go on like the longest, craziest reign with those titles, doing all their cool tag moves. That would be awesome. Anyways, Layla Rell from WWE LFG. This is the girl that everyone was like, she's going to be a star. She's a superstar. I disagreed from like episode 1. I was like, nah, she's really green. She's got a look. Her gear's nice. She figured out a cool pose to do in her entrance that no one's really done, which is hard to do. It just wasn't there. Like her matches, then she always had excuses, and it was always just people carrying her. But her name is now Jin Tala and not Layla Rell. And so Jin Tala, if you guys remember, they trademarked that a while back. And she'll be debuting against Carly Bright next week. Here's the thing. Remember last show we talked about that guy who got devolved? He was de-evolutioned or whatever, right? Back to his original Agumon. He devolved, right? And he was like released from Evolve. I forget his name. The experience they get even doing shit like this will help them when they go to regional shows or like indies or show like MLW where they're on YouTube, but they format it like a TV show and shit. This will only help all of wrestling, having these folks do a show like this on Evolve. And I really should be keeping up with it every week. I mean, I know what's going on. I know the names and stuff. It's hard. With NXT, now NXT's starting to like elevate itself to where you know all the main players, but for a minute there, before they figured out the Evolve, LFG, NIL, ID, here's how we filter people in, you know, like before they figured that all out, it was like real tough to keep. It was like, damn, there's in NXT, you have like super supreme vets, and then you have like the greenest of the green, you know, but now Evolve, the greenest of the green can go over there and we go, okay, here's like the developmental. It's great shit. I just really like it. I like that it's all there that we can see, but I also don't like that we can see it. You know, I was a big advocate a long time ago and throughout the history of PWT of like, they need to get NXT off TV, or like they need to get their developmental needs to not be on TV. But since everything's on the internet anyways, just throw it on Tubi or YouTube. I think that's brilliant. And I think that they're winning me over with, here's the developmental for developmental, you know, like we exist in a world where even if it OVW regional television, but someone will clip it and put it on Twitter anyways. So I've always understood that. But at the same time, it's like, damn, some of these characters do their best shit in NXT and then they go to the main roster and it's like they already did some of the best shit in their career. Like DIY, for instance, like they're never going to be what they were in NXT. You know, they did all their best shit in NXT, which is fine. We wouldn't even be able to determine whether it was their best shit if it wasn't on TV, if it was like back in the OVW days. So the point I'm getting at is they figured out a way to work with the internet, but appease someone like myself who's like, well, fuck, you know, we're seeing all of the development happen right in front of us. And they're mixing it up with fucking veterans like Ethan Page or whoever floats down here, you know? So now it's like, okay, if NXT, let's say like you're the AHL, at any point AHL players can get called up to the NHL, and at any point NHL players can go down to the AHL team and they can mix it up. So now NXT's that. and you're like, okay, they're at that level. Like if you're in the AHL, you're likely able to hold your own in the NHL, at least to some, right? Like you're at least at a pro level. So in NXT now, it's almost a step above development. Like you are a pro, you're at that pro level, but you're just like, you know, a half step outside type shit. And I like that. Like on SmackDown, we saw fucking Ethan Page on SmackDown. I'm not going to review the whole show, but if you watch SmackDowns in chunks, like these 3-hour ones, like I did, they're actually really fucking good shows. If you watch it like an hour, then an hour, they're actually really good. The ending was amazing with Jey Uso and all of that. And Logan Paul and shit. I mean, some people were saying it felt forced. It kind of does. Like Cena's kind of a cornball. He always has been, though. Like that's why we would go Cena sucks when he was the uber ultra babyface, because he was kind of a cornball. And now you're all like, he's a cornball, I hate it. Well, that's the fucking point. You know what I mean? He's not crucifying people or spitting at black women, but he's fucking, you know, he's getting heat like by being a cornball, right? And so Logan Paul does that same shit. And so they're teamed up, and it makes a lot of sense. And I enjoyed that. But my favorite part of SmackDown was like, oh, Ethan Page and Javon Evans. And we're just really getting they're promoting the shit out of this AAA stuff. Yeah. And also like Naomi's doing her damn thing. So SmackDown I actually enjoyed it. But you have to break that shit up in chunks, man. Otherwise, it's going to clog up the toilet. But back to this little segment here and me putting over Evolve and developmental. I'm just trying to put over developmental in general here, folks. I'll stop. Yeah, moving along here. Metro Boomin says he would love to produce the WWE theme songs. Of course, a bunch. Metro Boomin wants some more. Going to the Julibus and AP. Sliding on the water like a jet ski. I'm trying to fuck you in your bestie. Chopper with this scope, so do not test me. Rick Flair drip, go woo on a bitch. I would love to hear him cook it up for honestly the Street Profits. I know they're saying like Jacob Fatu he wants to make a theme for. I think Jacob's theme's good. Maybe Bronson Reed, but like he's got a good one too. And if he just comes out with Seth and shit, he doesn't really. And then like Breaker's got a good one. So I mean, you don't need Metro Boomin to come in. Like you're a heel right now, you know. You give it to, and I guess the Street Profits are kind of heelish, right? People are behind them, but they do like kind of heel shit, but they do babyface shit when they're flipping over the ropes and shit. So I guess they're like tweeners. So I would like to hear them because their song is dope too. We outside, we want the smoke. But there's a different version of that song they had before that's better. I swear to God. I just don't know how often they used it, but I think it's in the game 2K24 as like the Street Profits music too. But I don't think it's like I don't think it's their main song in the game. Those who know. I think there's a sped up version of that. We outside and or we on fire and we want the smoke. We outside. What the fuck am I talking about? We on fire and we want the smoke, right? That song is like slowed down the one they use now. I think if my memory serves me correctly, I'd have to like go turn on WWE 2K24 or something. I don't know, or 23 or whatever game it was. But either way, Metro Boomin, though, I would like to hear him. Yeah, Street Profits, maybe. Let me think. B-Fab, maybe like rapping, because she raps her own themes and like they're pretty. I don't know. I like it. I think they're good. I think they're catchy. Her bars always get caught in my head like as a theme song, like the Hit Rowie one. Hit row, yo, I don't know. I used to like that song. Hit row. Anyways, maybe her rapping on like a Metro Boomin beat, but that'd be crazy. You know, that's like fucking rappers in the game don't even get to do that shit. So it'd probably be Metro working with like an artist or something. I don't know. I'm hyped for that. But hopefully he's not one of the celebrities in the game. I want the celebrities in the game to be like Jay Leno or Drew Carey, people who've actually fought. No, I'm just joking. It could be Metro. I think they have Travis Scott coming in the game soon too. Anyways, so Joe Hendry tries to claim ketchup chips. Now, I believe in Joe Hendry, but this is some absolute bullshit. Karmen had to show the evidence of the pack that it's Canadian made. So yeah, you guys got to understand something. Not only is it Canadian made, this Lay's ketchup chips in particular, but ketchup chips are like what are Scotsmen and Irishmen trying to claim those or what? We don't claim haggis or sheep guts or whatever bullshit you guys eat. No, the ketchup chips are vehemently Canadian, but had some last night, buddy. Only a handful though. Hurt your belly, bud. Hard to sleep after, eh?
The premise of our video.
Yeah, Lay's are. This is not Canadian.
I'm pretty sure this is in the UK first. No.
Wait,
Lay's is called Walkers in the UK.
That's a different thing.
No. It's the same brand. Google Walkers crisps.
Okay, let's fucking do it right now. So he's not claiming ketchup chips, he's claiming Lay's? Here, I'll just ask a grok or some shit. No. Are Walker's crisps, Lay's chips the same? We'll fucking look this up, Joe Hendry. Are Walkers and Lay's the same? Walkers and Lay's are not exactly the same, although they are very similar. Both brands offer a range of potato chips. Okay, shut up. They have a similar logo, but they're not even the same company. So, Hendry, I'm sorry, buddy. I believe in you, but I don't believe in the shit you saying.
Liar!
Right now, man.
Liar! Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
No, this was actually John Henry. This was John Henry, his doppelganger.
Not chips.
I hate to say this, Joe, but you're ruining the video.
I'm sorry.
Joseph,
Please.
please.
It's actually just Joe. It's not Joseph.
Really?
It's just Joe.
Like by birth. That's so.
Yeah, it's actually just Phil, not Philip, as well.
Lie. Because look at this, and I'm going to show you right now. Frito-Lay, Canada. Yeah. You think I would lie to my audience, Joseph? Yeah, which she's lying about his name. No one is just Joe here by birth. Yeah. Look at it. What does that say? Canada. Made in Fabrique au Canada. Yeah. So, not Joseph. Get out of here, Joseph. You know what? Go focus on your concert. Okay. The premise of
Damn, they should fucking get it over with. Sicko segment. So, Aero Lucha, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna circle back to that stuff, man. Because right when I'm like, we're done talking about AAA, it's just more AAA stuff. I gotta tell you guys. So, MVP as well. He's got some shit to say. So we're gonna circle back to MVP and all of that. Okay. Triple H is said to not be a big fan of Money in the Bank prop as a whole. I don't blame him. I think it's once it became its own pay-per-view, it got played out. Now, some Money in the Bank pay-per-views have been so good in the years that followed that I like accept it now. But I think the Money in the Bank would be more effective like the Hell in a Cell. It's got to be maybe just a match and not its whole own event with matches surrounding it. Like they should just say, okay, every year at WrestleMania, or if they don't want to muddy it up there, they just say, okay, the Raw after Mania, we give out the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then it expires at the end, or like we have two matches, men and women, and those briefcases expire at the end of Mania, like the next year's Mania, and you just have it. The Money in the Bank matches are on the Raw after Mania every year, or like one on the Raw after Mania, one on the SmackDown after Mania. And then, yeah, that's how you kick off the year. Like the new year starts, oh, someone new has the Money in the Bank. You might have had a rough year last year, but it's reset time, and now I can lay claim and whatever. I think that'd be the way to do it, and just don't make it a big event. But then now it's such Money in the Bank. The name itself is Money in the Bank now, and what I'm saying is fucking dumb, and I know that, chat. I'm just trying to spitball if Triple H wants to still, because Money in the Bank itself is value. You know, the event now has value. You could do it in Canada and have a fucking crazy turnout like they did, or, you know, do it wherever. And it sells toys, or at least it did at one point, and it's sort of synonymous now with WWE. Like other companies have you win a briefcase with a thing inside. I think it'd be hard to let it go. I don't think it's necessary that because the men have something, the women get something too. You guys know what I mean? Like, just because the men have an IC title, the women don't need an IC title. Just because the men have tag titles and the women's tag division, you clearly don't give a fuck about. So just make a tag cup every year. They don't need a fucking tag belts then for me to go, well, why isn't there a division? And same with the Money in the Bank. Like, maybe just let the ladies have one, because it seems to be like the lady cash-ins seem to hit more hard, whereas the guy ones seem to be more of placeholders. Like, to the point now where people are like, oh, Carrion needs the Money in the Bank. Okay, why? Because it's like a title. It's like a visual. You're more over because you have this thing now. But maybe they should just do it the Raw after Mania, or at Mania, just night 1 you do the ladies, night 2 you do the men's, or vice versa, right? That's the fucking way to do it, and just get rid of the event as a whole if you're planning. Because I'm honestly down for like maybe less PLEs with a little bit more matches. Like you could do a little less PLEs. Well, it depends. I don't know. It's hard for me to even say that now because it's just all on Netflix. But remember when there was the big 4? Like UFC has this problem too. They do events. They do like 4 events a month or 3 events a month. Okay, before it used to be every 3 months there was like a fight night and then a big pay-per-view. Or like every couple months, like every 2 months there was a fight night, and then on the 3rd month there was like a pay-per-view or whatever. However the fuck they do it. And it just made it feel a little more special. And so I like these events like the Worlds Collide. I like shit like that. When we get into the like, okay, the Chamber is a big deal, and the Rumble's a big deal, and Survivor Series War Games a big deal, and Money in the Bank's a big deal. It used to be the big 4. Now there's like 6 or 7 huge deal shows, and I'm okay with it. And it's all on Netflix, so I'm not complaining like, oh, it's hard to watch, or and like, trust me, I'm the fucking last one who complains about that. I enjoy watching wrestling, so I just enjoy hearing like the canvas clacking, or MMA even. I'll just put fucking fights on and go to sleep, or I'll put matches on and go to sleep. I just enjoy it. So ultimately, though, I'm with Triple H a little bit here. Like the Money in the Bank it got too big for its britches a little bit, you know, to where you can't get rid of it because it's such money in the bank in and of itself. However, I'm not like, if there wasn't a Money in the Bank PLE, would you guys cry? I know the IWC would, but let's be honest here. Would we all cry, or would we be kind of cool with that? I wouldn't be terribly mad at that. And then it's like a multi-man match at Mania. If they just did it both nights of Mania, multi-man match on Mania. Stuff people won't cry as much. I don't know. Makes sense. So WWE Night of Champions 2025 tickets went on sale yesterday and sold out in less than 2 hours. This is a few days ago. 25,000 plus fans are going to pack the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh. So far, the only thing announced for the show is John Cena. So there you have it. Incredible stuff. WWE is reportedly planning to host the Tuesday, August 19 episode of NXT at the 2300 Arena in Philly, 1 week before AEW begins its 7-show residency in the same venue. That is so petty. Triple H and Shawn Michaels and Nick Khan really don't like Tony Khan. And they are really, it's not about they're threatened or they're worried or anything. It's not about that. It's never been about that. Or else TNA would have been snuffed out this same way. You know what I mean? And people can go, well, they did counter program. I know, but they're like clearly going for the jugular here. Like they're clearly fucking with AEW, but it's because it's good for business. It's good for internet trends to look when people are searching up WWE versus AEW and blah, blah, blah. So what TNA did is they tried to, like, Dixie Carter wanted to work with WWE the whole fucking time. She just wanted to be at that level. She wasn't like a Bischoff. We want to take them out now. She was very defensive, TNA, and she defended, and not defensive in like a negative way, you know, maybe at some points. She was on Twitter, you know, Twitter Dixie, but she also was just defensive in like a company owner way, and like, I got to hold it down for my guys and shit, which is respectable. That being said, she really just wanted to work with WWE. How do we know that? Well, she let them use footage whenever. They could say TNA whenever. She jumped at the opportunities to do documentaries with them and shit. We know that. And people don't have bad things really to say about Dixie other than her as like a boss, you know? And it's the same with Tony. But it's funny how the cult gets behind Tony Khan the way they do. But they're really going for the fucking jugular here out of pure pettiness, you know, which you have to expect. Like, it's Shawn Michaels and Triple H. And so Tony just should have reserved all of those bald asshole comments. Tony Khan really shouldn't have been yelling about the Friday Night War. It's in court. Because now what we're actually seeing, you know, because there's a narrative out there like, you know, WWE they're threatened by AEW right now. It's not that, man. Every wrestling company's feeling the effects of the wrestling boom other than AEW right now. Why? It's just the pettiness, man. Ultimately, at the end of the day, like, Shawn Michaels will do the Montreal screw job. Okay, you can't call him bald asshole and all of these things and expect them to never try and come for the jugular. I think they're trying to clamp down now too and fuck with Tony to see if they can get him to melt down again. Like, they're probably all laughing about this shit behind the scenes. But at the same token, we're starting to see now AEW people feel threatened. And that's why you are seeing a lot of backlash and lashing out from guys like Ricochet. That's why you're seeing Dave. We're going to cover it in a bit. He's like coping so hard. Oh, what are you going to steal like 3,000 views away from them? 3,000 buys? Coping so hard over it. And it's like, he's just retreating, you know? It'll be waving the white flag sooner or later. And it is unfortunate. Even the way, like, if you guys listen to Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes and the way they talk about AEW, like on that pod, and they sit there and they're like, yeah, you know, we're proud of AEW and All In and all that. We're proud of that and all that shit. They talk about it, but it's like just the dismay, like the rinky-dinkness of it. And I kind of feel bad, man, for the wrestlers because honestly, like Tony fucked them. And the way we're going to see like a lot of these wrestlers, I told you guys, the 2025 Exodus, when we get into AEW news, you're going to see all these. We got like 3 more names of people out the door. 3 more, dude. Well, 4, or let me think. Yeah, 3 with Mariah May. Yeah, so 3 more names out the door of AEW. And more coming, guys. I told you, the Exodus, right? No dirt sheets were telling you this because they're all trying to protect AEW. But yeah, dude, just the bald assholes, we're not Jim Crockett. Undertaker. Remember when Tony Khan trashed Undertaker and Cena and was like, for the first time, Undertaker and Cena didn't get 1 million viewers. It's like, bro, that shit right there. Undertaker works in NXT with these kids. He's like helping. Him and Shawn Michaels are like really close, man, in Triple H. You guys ever see WrestleMania when they said end of an era and it was those 3 guys ending the era together because they're like best friends? You don't think this shit was going to come back and smack you in the face once like the dust is settled with the Vince shit? Because it is now. Like they've fully moved on. Well, how do we know that, Phil? Well, John Laurinaitis is snitching. Janelle's like flip-flopping around. Like who even knows what's going on? Vince has just announced he's got his new company and all this shit that's coming out, or he didn't announce it, but it's out there. And WWE now it's full-blown Triple H, Shawn Michaels. They don't have to worry about Vince ever coming back. And now they're just like, fuck it. We're just going to fuck with AEW now. More so Shawn Michaels, I think, than Triple H. But they are best friends. So these are guys who would lie and manipulate. And I'm not saying they're doing that now, or maybe they are. But listen, they were petty to people in the locker room. Maybe I won't say lie and manipulate. They were petty and shitty to people in the locker room their whole careers. You don't think they're going to go to Tom Petty levels to fuck with Tony Khan? It's not that they're threatened. You can't be threatened by the company that was doing double as better than they were doing 6 years ago. Do you guys get what I'm saying? They were more threatened. Hey guys, yeah, they were threatened 5 years ago when they kicked NXT's ass off TV and shit, okay? They're not threatened anymore. It's not that. Now this is pure like petty, we're just going to fuck with you stuff. I'm here for it. They wanted the wrestling war. They're going to get the wrestling war. I want the wrestling war. But the reason I want the wrestling war is because I want AEW to step up. I don't want them to see them double down on fucking mistakes. That's what happened to WCW. They doubled down on the goofy bad shit. And they brought in Vince Russo and they doubled down on the we're going to let Hulk fucking run around and you know what I mean? You can't do that, man. You got to fucking switch it up. And like, I would start with change your ropes from fucking white to, you know, like get your own identity, film your show differently, fucking so many different things you could do. But, yeah, anyways, NXT super fucking wheezing the juice hard off AEW. What's going to happen is AEW's 7-show residency. How many seats are they set up for each show? NXT is going to pack that shit to the tits, have a bunch of ECW legends, do all this crazy shit, and then AEW is going to have like Rhino and Hologram team up again or whatever. Anyways, Coach, I spent a lot of time on that.